Welcome back to Tom's Life. Today's Sunday special is pumpkin pie. So the ingredients you need is self-raising flour, butter, 2 eggs, 1 pumpkin, cinnamon, caster sugar and ground salt, and you also need milk. So first step, we're going to prep our pumpkin because we have to boil it. So first step, you want to chop your end off your pumpkin. So you're going to get a knife and you want to chop all the way through. Be careful with your fingers, just like that. And we're going to also do the other end. Now you want to get a spoon and you want to de-seed all your pumpkin seeds. You want to go round with the wooden spoon, your metal spoon. You want to go round all the pumpkin. And what you're doing is you're just patting it downwards first. And then what you're going to do is you're going to tip it up onto your chopping board. And then you're going to get all the little pips and seeds out and flesh. Might be a little bit messy, so you do this first. So you just keep getting your metal spoon going round all your pumpkin. So this is your pumpkin now. Once you have de-seeded it all, you're going to put it to one side and then you will chop it into pieces. So you now want to chop your pumpkin down the middle. Just be careful. Then you do it again in half. Then you want to turn it on the side and then you just want to chop it into 3. Keep it together and then you want to chop it into small, medium pieces. It might be a bit hard, so you might have to give it some force with the knife. Always remember to move your fingers out the way. Just like that. I got a pan here. With some hot water in. You're going to place all your pumpkin in. Be careful it doesn't splash you. And then you'll put the lid on and let these boil while you make your pastry. So next step, you want to switch on your hob. You want to set this to high. And then what we got is we got our pumpkin in the pan in our water. And we want to boil these for 10 to 15 minutes so they go nice and soft. And then you will mash these so it's like filling for our pumpkin pie. So next step, we're going to weigh our pastry while your pumpkin is boiling. So you're going to need 150 grams of self-raising flour. I'm using my talking scales.
It is 88 grams.
You add a little bit more in till you get to 150.
It is 111 grams. It is 116 grams.
Just take a tiny little bit out.
It is 151 grams.
That will do. So once you've got 150 grams of self-raising flour, you're going to get a mixing bowl and you're going to place all that in. So next step, I'm going to weigh out my butter. I need 75 grams. So you cut some off and you're going to place it in your scales. I've got talking scales.
98 grams.
So you're just going to cut a little bit more off.
It is 60 grams.
So you need to get to 75.
It is 59 grams. It is 67 grams. It is 78 grams. It is 67 grams. It is 76 grams.
That will do. So once you've got 75 grams of butter, you're going to place it in with your flour. So you're going to weigh out another 25 grams to melt in a pan. So you're going to place some more butter in your scales. I'm using my talking scales.
It is 22 grams.
You just need a little bit more.
It is 24 grams. It is 24 grams.
That will do. So I got 25 grams of butter. So we've got a small pan here. You're going to place all your butter in like that, and you'll melt that in a minute. So next step, you're going to weigh out 140 grams of caster sugar. This will be for your filling. Using my talking scales.
It is 21 grams.
Just give it a little tap.
It is 42 grams. It is 62 grams. It is 81 grams. It is 100 grams. It is 117 grams. It is 132 grams. It is 132 grams. It is 141 grams.
That will do. So once you've got 140 grams of caster sugar, you're going to get a mixing bowl and you're going to place all your caster sugar in. Get it all out and give it a good tap. So what you're going to do now is you're going to start rubbing your butter and flour together using your fingertips. You want to raise it from a height. So you're rubbing them together to make nice fine breadcrumbs. You don't want to have hot hands because the butter will melt. This will take a few minutes. And then you keep rubbing them together from a height. And then you give your mixing bowl a shake every often to get the big lumps up. And then you just keep rubbing them together. You don't have to do it this way. You can get a blender and blitz them together to make nice fine breadcrumbs. So what you do is you just keep rubbing them together for a few more minutes and you should come nicely together into nice breadcrumbs. Then you add in some water to bring it together to make a nice dough and a nice for your pastry. I'm just doing a plain one, but a plain pastry. But if you want to have a sweet crust, you put in a tablespoon of caster sugar before you start adding some water to bind it together. So it will just take another minute or two, and then we will add in the water. So you now want to switch on your oven. I'm using my bump on to tell me which one is the oven. You want to set this at 180 degrees. So I have set that at 180 degrees, and then you're just going to finish off making your short crust pastry, and then you put it in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. You only want to cook it halfway through, because you're going to put it back in the oven with your pumpkin filling. Now you want to add in some water to your flour and butter. To start off with a little bit. And what you want to do is you want to start bringing it together so it all sticks. So you're giving it a good stir with a knife so it all binds in nicely together. You just need enough water to bring it together, and you've also got some flour if it looks a bit runny. So what you want to do is you want to get your pastry and place it in your dish, and what you want to do is you want to pat it out really thin, get it near the edges, all the way round. It might be a little bit sticky, but don't worry about that. So you've got a nice thin layer. And now we're going to place this in the oven to cook, where you make your filling, your pumpkin filling, and then you'll place this on top. You place all your filling on top, and then you finish off cooking it in the oven. Now you want to place your pastry in the oven. You want to place it on the middle shelf. You close the door. You let that cook for 10 to 12 minutes while you make your filling. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your pan. You put your hob back on to medium high. And what you want to do is you want to start melting your butter. So you're just stirring it so it doesn't stick. And you just want this to melt. It'll take about 2 to 3 minutes. Then we'll let this cool down, and then we'll pour this in with our eggs and milk. So you now want to crack your 2 eggs. You want to break them into the bowl and catching any of the shell. You do the same with your other egg yolk. And then you'll pour in some milk. You'll give them a good whisk together. And then when your butter is nicely cool, you'll stir that in too. Now you want to pour enough milk in to give it some flavour to your eggs. About a third. And then with a fork, you want to start whisking these so they bind in nicely together. Just do this for a few minutes. Now you're going to pour in all your butter. And you want to give that another good whisk using a fork. These will be all your wet ingredients. In a minute we're going to mash our pumpkin, and then you're going to season your caster sugar with a little bit of salt and cinnamon. So what you're going to do now is you want to start mashing your pumpkin for a few minutes. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add in all your milk, egg and butter. You want to leave some, you don't want to mash it really well, because you want to see the little bits of pumpkin. So you're just giving it one final mash. Just like that. So what you want to do is you want to get all your pumpkin and you want to add it into your milk, eggs and butter. You give that a little bit of a stir, and in a minute you're adding your sugar, a little bit of salt and cinnamon. And what you want to do once you have done that, you'll get your pastry out the oven, and then you'll pour this in and you'll place it back in the oven to cook and set for 20 to 25 minutes. So next step, you want to put all your caster sugar in with your pumpkin, milk, eggs and butter. Before you give it one final good stir, you also just want to add in just a tiny pinch of salt like that. And you also do the same with a tiny little pinch of cinnamon. Just to give the pumpkin flavour and some sweetness from the caster sugar. Now you're going to give this all one good final stir in. We've took our pastry out, what's 3/4 cooked. Then you'll pour all this on top, and then you'll place it back in the oven to cook for 20 to 25 minutes. So what you want to do is you want to get all your filling and pour it on top. So you're just placing it on top like that, spreading it all out. Now in a minute you're going to carefully put it in the oven and let this cook for 20 to 25 minutes, keeping an eye on it. 25 to 30 minutes till it has cooked and set all the way through. So you're now going to place it back in the oven. So you're going to place it back in the oven to cook for 25 to 30 minutes. So it cooks all the way through and goes nicely set. You just keep an eye on it and then you will turn it around. So as you can see, this is how I make my pumpkin pie. This is a perfect recipe to make for Halloween. And you can also put a little bit of whipped cream on top to serve it with. I hope you like this. Don't forget to hit the like button, share and subscribe, and thank you.